Hello.
Hi, Donavon Frelow.
Yes, sir.
Hi, this is Steve Jewin for MMA Mania. How are you doing today?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to talk to you. There's a lot of exciting things coming up for you in a couple of weeks. You're going to be fighting for the flyweight title at World Series. How's camp going? How are you feeling right now?
Oh, I'm feeling amazing. I was actually sitting down having a little bite to eat after training, after my first training session, and I'm feeling good.
When I talked to Vinny Magalhaes last week, he put you over very highly. He said you're one of the best guys in camp, and he also said Donnie a lot. So I got to know, is it Donovan or Donnie?
Well, everybody in the gym calls me Donnie. Whatever you would like to call me, but my name's my government name is Donovan.
Okay, well
I go by Donnie a little bit.
Well, if everybody calls you Donnie, I'll call you Donnie too. So yeah, he spoke very highly of you, and he expects you to win the title on the 17th. He's convinced you're going to do it.
I'm convinced I am too.
Is it a little intimidating at 5-0 to be going for a title already? I mean, it seems like guys usually are fighting for a longer time before they get a title shot.
Honestly, I haven't even really thought of it in that way. I haven't really even thought of it as being intimidating. Off top, I've thought of it as being a humongous blessing. You know, based off that fact that you just said, a lot of people have to fight a lot of fights in order to get a title run. And out of the two flyweights and out of two people in that division and that promotion, you know, they said that I was one of the most entertaining, and they chose for me to be the guy who goes to the title run. And I just think that that's a blessing, and it's also an honor. So I don't feel intimidated. I know I put in a lot of work in order to perform in the fights that I have performed in, and I'm just glad that, you know, the hard work's paying off. I'm glad that it's being noticed. So I'm not intimidated by it at all. I'm actually embracing the whole thing.
Well, it certainly came as a surprise when we heard there was going to be another title fight on World Series Fighting, but it's a division that needs to crown a champion, and the two guys going into the fight, you and Bibliatov, are both undefeated, so it only makes sense that whoever comes out of that fight would be a champion anyway.
Right?
Absolutely. What is your assessment of Bibliatov? What do you think of him as an opponent?
To be honest, I haven't really done too much pondering on him. I know his record, and I know just a little bit of background about him. He's from Russia. I'm pretty sure most of the guys from out there have like a Sambo background or whatnot, and I know that he's probably considered to be a tough fighter, but so am I. So I don't really focus too much on him. All I can really do is focus on what I do when I go to cage, what training that I do, and you know how I'm going to be prepared for the fight. Other than that, there's nothing else that I can control for myself.
Donnie, let me ask you, 4 out of your 5 wins so far have been by submission. Do you feel that's bread and butter right now as a fighter, is to get submissions?
I mean, I'm a mixed martial artist, so there should be a mixture of things that I should be good at. The submissions they've happened to be the things that have worked for me in that moment. I don't mind standing up and banging. I don't mind going punch for punch. I don't mind doing Muay Thai. I don't mind any of that, any of the different martial arts. But a majority of the times, or all the times that I've got a submission, it's been because of that was what was open for me. That was the thing that was presented to me, and it was the opportunity that I took.
So you're saying the game is well-rounded on the whole, it's just we haven't gotten a chance to see it because you keep getting the quick sub.
Yeah, kind of.
Well, yeah, you certainly did that at World Series Fighting 22. You took out Carlos Garcia in under 3 minutes, so...
Sorry about that. I wish I could have gave you a knockout.
Well, hey, you know what? This time it's going 5 rounds if it goes the distance, so you'll get plenty of time. Is cardio going to be okay? Are you ready for 5 rounds?
Oh man, I'm ready for 5 rounds. I am ready. I've upped my cardio training and you know, also my muscle endurance and things of that nature. So we're gonna be ready, man. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna let things flow, and we're just you know, hopefully it doesn't go 5 rounds. Hopefully I can get out of there faster, you know, with my hand raised.
Oh, now let me go ahead and get some background on how you first got into mixed martial arts. What led you into the sport to begin with?
At the beginning, me and my brother just would watch TV, and we saw the prize fighting, and we saw the prize fighting, and Vanderlei Silva was like our favorite character. And to be honest, I didn't even think prize fighting was real. I thought it was like wrestling guys. I just thought that those guys were just really crazy, and they're willing to take a beating for entertainment. But when I found out that it was in the States, I actually had a Marine brother, Kenny Marzola, who came back from serving he served twice in Afghanistan and Iraq. And when he came back, I didn't really get to see him. He actually called me one day, and he told me, yeah, hey man, I'm getting ready for this fight. I was like, fight? He's like, yeah. He's like, look it up on YouTube. So I looked him up on YouTube, and I seen that he was doing the same exact thing that we were watching, the prize fighting, basically. And I was like, man, you're a fighter? Oh, wow. So I called him. I gave him a call back, and I asked him, can I come out for one of your training sessions and just work out with you like we used to in the old days when we were playing football together. He was like, yeah. So he ran me through a little training camp with him, a little training session, and oh shit, I was throwing up while we were running, but I continued to run though, and I continued to run the sprints, and I'm throwing up while I'm running the sprints. And he was like, Don, like, you haven't changed, like, you have that heart, man, and you could do this. And I told him, me and my brother can live around, so we've been watching the fight, and this is something that we looked at and we were like, hey, we could do that. It was just like something like a joke kind of, and when you're in the moment, watching whatever sport, whether you're watching football or basketball, and you're like, man, I think I could do that if I really trained, and so forth. And so me and my brother, we had it as kind of a little dream or whatnot, but I didn't never think it was going to be a reality. So when my friend called me on the training session, and then I went back and told my brother, and he said, yeah, Vanderlei Silva has a gym out here. And I was like, no way. He has a gym like in Las Vegas, a gym, the Vanderlei Silva, the one we watch on TV, the one I play on the Sega Dreamcast. Like, I remember watching him, and he would come out and the little commentator would say, Vanderlei Silva. And me and my brother would always laugh when we would hear that, because it just sounds so funny with the accent. But he ended up having a gym out here, and me and my brother were like, dude, we gotta do that. So I went there one day and walked in, and I went into about to do a training session. I was sitting down in the bleachers just watching the whole gist of it, like watching the people doing jiu-jitsu and whatnot, and some big guy just came and sat next to me. I looked over, he looked like a fighter or whatnot, and then I did a double take, and I looked, and it was actually Vanderlei Silva sitting right next to me, and he was like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, oh, whoa, no way, Vanderlei Silva. And he was like, yeah, he was talking to me in his little accent, and he was saying, hey, do you want to jump in this class and, get a little bit of training in? I was like, man, I can. I mean, I haven't paid for no membership or anything like that. And he was like, yeah, go ahead. He said, I'll give you a little gi jacket. And I jumped in, man, and I took my first class. And, long story short, everything was trying to develop from there.
Well, that's sweet. That is awesome. That's probably the best introduction story to MMA that I've heard in the past 3 months. He
awesome.
just came over and sat down next to you, and the next thing you knew, you were rolling in the gym. That's fantastic.
Rolling in his gym. And I really thought that he was like a Marvel character. You know what I mean? Like he was kind of like a Superman or a Batman or something in that sense. Because I really didn't even think that, I didn't think he had a gym. I didn't think that I didn't even know if he lived in the States. I didn't even think he lived in the States.
So
I thought he was just out there, and either he lived in Japan or Brazil or something like that.
Right, so let me just say, you probably pretty much thought Pride was a big show. It's all color and lights and crazy announcers screaming people's names. You just didn't know how real it was until that moment.
You know what? I just thought people were really that crazy to just either go in there. I had two thoughts about it. Either it was just totally scripted, and people were so crazy that they were willing to take a check to get knocked out, or they were just throwing somebody who was highly qualified in fighting against somebody who had no skills at all, and people were getting damaged like that.
Some of those Vanderlei fights in Pride were definitely one-sided to the point you thought that other guy didn't even belong in the ring with him at all.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I would think that. And that's why I was like, Wanderlei Silva, man, he's like the Macho Man Randy Savage of Pride, or like the Ultimate Warrior or something to me, you know?
No, you're speaking my language, because I grew up watching pro wrestling before I got into MMA, so Wanderlei Silva and Chuck Liddell would be like Rick Rude and Hulk Hogan, and you just don't think, wow, I'm ever going to see that, and then one day you do.
Yeah, and they're like sitting next to you, and you're just like, what? You are that guy, you know? I still go through the gym, and, you know, they're still my family. That's where I originated from. I even have the logo tattooed on me, because that's just where I originated from. A lot of other fighters I see, maybe some of the pros, they look at the tattoo and they're like, man, what is that? You know, cause whatever discrepancies they have with, you know, the fight game, certain people dislike certain guys or whatever, but it's all love for me, man. I have respect for every guy who goes in that cage, every guy who has had a career before me. I'm just trying to, you know, walk in their footsteps and create my own at the same time.
Since you're with Syndicate now, and, you know, Wanderlei is still somebody that you respect, do you think we're going to see him back at any point, or do you think he's probably done with MMA and just going to keep training and working other people to make the next future fighter?
I would love to see him again, at least a couple more times. But as of now, I'm not sure. You know, with whatever problems that he does have with the UFC or whatnot, he's probably just worried about enjoying his time, and, you know, with his family, and, you know, in his gym, and, you know, just enjoying life. That's what I would do. At the end of the day, I would just enjoy life, you know, and travel and do things of that nature if I wasn't planning on coming back.
Right.
But I definitely could see him pulling out one or two more fights. But that's up to him, you know. That's up to him and what he wants to do. I haven't, any other time that I've gone to the gym, I haven't seen him training, but I know for sure he's an MMA fighter, you know, like in heart, at heart, and that's his life. Like, for sure he's training.
Absolutely.
Whether he's getting some mitts in every day or doing some rolling or something like that, he's doing it. I could never see Wanderlei just sitting still, not doing anything, saying he's not going to do anything that has to do with MMA at all.
Right.
I couldn't see that.
Yeah, that's kind of what Nick Dolly said when I interviewed her a couple months ago. She was like, even though I was retired, quote unquote, I kept going to the gym. She couldn't let it go. Even though she wasn't fighting, she still kept on training. And I see him probably being the same. Yeah,
it's a lifestyle. It's not just for for the show. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. When I don't go to the gym, or even when I have a fight, and you know that my doctor or my coaches suggest that I take the week off and all that. Man, I took a week off before and I felt like I didn't train for like 3 months. I was just missing the gym so much, and I was just like, man, I've really been able to see that it's really something that's in my heart, and it's just a part of me, and it's a lifestyle. It's not no more just a hobby. It's not no more just something that I do just for a little bit of fun or recreationally. Like, I do it recreationally and I do it as a lifestyle. It's part of me.
So is there anything then that you do recreationally that doesn't involve going to the gym? What do you do if you're not at the gym?
If I'm not at the gym, I'll be honest with you, I am a homebody. I love watching movies, relaxing at the house, spending time with my daughter. I'm a big kid, so I like going to the park with my daughter. I'm probably the only adult that goes to McDonald's and climbs up the little apparatus thing, like the little
the
tubes.
Playland. You go over to the McDonald's Playland to get on it.
I'm in the playground. I'm that guy. I'm the adult, the dad that's in the, being stared at by all the other parents, playing with my daughter, running through that little thing. Cause, I fight flyweight. I'm not the biggest guy in the world, so I could fit in the little playground like she did.
I gotta tell you this real quick, because when I talked to Liam McGarry in St. Louis, he told me he went through the playground at the St. Louis City Museum, and you know how big that guy is.
Well, the things we'll do for our kids, man.
Oh, no
for
doubt.
Real. I really just, that's what I do. Recreationally, man, it's really just find something cool to do, whether it's, just create moments, man. Create moments for my daughter to remember, you know, whether we're riding bikes together or we're going a long walk or we're going to like a little nature walk. She loves nature, so we'll go pick flowers or, you know, pick out cool rocks. And, you know, they got companies that just come out and dump rocks on the side of the road and, you know, just to make things look, just for landscaping basically. And, you know, she thinks that they're just like some magic cool rocks that just developed over thousands of years or something. And I could go along with it. I just have moments with her and have fun with her. And, you know, maybe we go to the movies or we'll go to different parks or, you know, maybe meet up with some of my other buddies who have daughters or kids. And I'm just one of those guys, man. I'm real family oriented. I'm not a clubber. I'm not into all that. I'm the guy who likes to sit at the house and, you know, barbecue and have a family moment, swim, and invite people over and, you know, cook some fresh food. I'm one of those guys.
Well, it sounds like you have an awesome family life and an awesome relationship with your daughter. So I have to ask, does your family worry when you get into fights? Do they ever worry about what could happen to you, or do they just think you're always going to come out on top?
You know what? They believe in me so much. They share with me that, you know, of course the natural worrying comes up, but I wouldn't say it's too much worry. They're just concerned because they know with this sport, you know, what it entails, like what comes along with it. But as far as when I go in, they're super excited. Always. My daughter goes to all my fights, that I have locally. She's actually went to a couple fights out of town. And they just love it. They love sitting in the crowd. They're nervous. They're nervous as I don't know what. Palm sweating and all that. But right. At the same time, they really enjoy being a part of this journey. You know what I mean? Because it's not just my journey; it's our journey. You know, collectively, they help me. You know, whether it's with meal prepping or even when it's just relaxation or just the love that I need and the support that I need in different areas other than fighting. You know, this is our journey, and I'm not just doing this for myself anyway. So they're all a part of it. And everybody's intertwined and connected in this whole journey. And they love it. They love it. The first thing they always say though is, we already know you're gonna win. We just don't want you to get hurt, you know? while you're in the process of winning. And so they believe in me and they have that confidence in me, the same confidence that I have in myself. And it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to have them, you know, enjoy it and not create, you know, maybe false worries for me, you know, based off their worry.
No, sounds...
Their love and their confidence in me overrides anything that they could think of being a possibility of me getting hurt or anything.
Right. Well, it's obviously worked out so well so far because 5-0 and you haven't taken any major injuries, at least not that I know of. So you're still able to go to the playground with your daughter. It's worked out well.
Yeah, right.
And what better motivation can you have to be 6-0 than to go in there and submit Biblitov and take no injuries and then be able to go play with your daughter at the park?
There we go.
Well, outstanding. You know? In closing, then, anything you want to promote, social media links, sponsors, I want to get those out there and get the word out about Donnie Frelow.
Of course. You know, this is, of course, Donavon Frelow. You can follow me on DonnieBoy125 MMA on Instagram. On Facebook, it's just Donavon Frelow. On Twitter, @Donavon Frelow. I'd like to give a shout out and big thanks to Beer G. I would also like to give a big shout out to Valley Spine and Sports. I would love to give a humongous shout out to Eco Tent out here in Las Vegas. Also Syndicate MMA and, all my Reddit MMA community and family. Would like to give a shout out to them. And also to my friends and my family that have been supporting me this whole way. Very appreciative of everybody. And, I can't wait to bring that belt home for all of us because this is our journey. I hope you guys all, you know, are entertained with the fight that's coming up. Make sure you guys are watching it. October 17th, World Series. Let me give World Series a big, humongous shout out for the opportunity. Ali and Ray, and yeah, just it's going down. Bang bang. We're gonna have fun.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fun night, October 17th at the Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut, live on NBC Sports, fighting for the flyweight title. Donavon Frelow and Magomed Bibliatov, 2 undefeated fighters.
Awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, no problem. Take care, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.